been waiting on you, but
they wanted to start. I wouldn't let them do it. Haven't played since. You?
No, not at all. Thanks for coming for our season opening basketball press conference. Tigers open with Western Carolina. That's an 8 o'clock start on Friday night. Sam Blackman is here and he's to help distribute credentials for the season after this is over. So just get with Sam and he'll get you all hooked up on that. Also a reminder, the Lady Tigers open the season also on Friday night at 5:30 against UNC Greensboro. I'll turn it over to Coach Brownell. He can maybe give us a few opening comments about Western Carolina, who's going to start for the Tigers, and then we'll take some questions.
Okay. Well, I don't know who's going to start for the. I don't know who's going to start for the Tigers. It's only Tuesday, and the game's not until Friday. But pleased with the way our guys have this year. Practices have been pretty spirited, and we've stayed healthy, which is critical with this team. I think our spirit and mood is very good, and know that we're looking forward to getting started. I have a lot of respect for Larry Hunter, who's the head coach at Western Carolina. I've known him for quite a while. He's done the Ohio and North Carolina route just like I have, where he was head coach at Wittenberg and Ohio U and an assistant for Herb Sendek at NC State, and now he's done a good job at Western Carolina. Athletic group, 2 athletic guards coming back, Jackson and Mutombo, good big man inside, and a team that has experienced success with 22 wins last year. So anytime you have that kind of success, I think your kids feel good about what they're doing, and I think Larry's doing a great job up there. So, but most importantly, we're just ready to get started, and I was pleased with our exhibition. Got a lot of guys, a lot of minutes, which is what we wanted to do, and it was good to see guys be productive. And now we've got to do it with the real game lights on. So. Questions?
Do you wish you had more prep time, or are you ready to get the ball rolling?
I probably could use a little bit more time. I think, especially when you take over a new job and you have more like 12, 13 freshmen than one for us this year. And that, your learning curve is slower. Everything takes longer. You take for granted as a coach sometimes. You call out drills, you say things that you think guys should know, and you can become a little frustrated at times because it takes longer to get into everything. You get so used to having 3/4 of your team, 80% of your team know what you want, know what they're looking for in a drill and a set, in your offense, your defense, and so then you got to take so much time to reteach, slow down, do it again, slow down, do it again, and that you're probably not as far along in most of the things that you would see. I think that's why in basketball you see a lot of upsets in exhibition games and early games. I don't know that everybody's comfortable with what they're doing. And, I'm still trying to get comfortable with our lineups and who's playing and what guys play well together and, who does well against certain things. So certainly I'd like more time, but I think our players are probably more excited to play.
I know you had the exhibition, but how excited are you to just get that first game under your belt and really try that first official game?
Well, I'm excited if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, I won't be very excited. But, that's part of it a little bit. I think more as a coach, though, we just worry about being ready, being prepared, as opposed to getting in there and playing a game. But I'm certainly excited about coaching in a live game, for Clemson and all those kinds of things. But more at this stage of the season, you're just more worried about understanding your team, seeing how guys react to different things, and going from there to try to get better.
Can you give us an idea of maybe favorite part of this team at this point? What do you like that you've really seen?
I think there's a good thirst for knowledge from the guys. I think they've been excited about a new way of doing things. Even though a lot of them are young and haven't really been in this system that much, I just think that, from day one, even when we started doing some skill work with them and we only got a few sessions in the spring, they've been, excited about a new voice and excited about some of the things that were taught to them early and in terms of individual skill improvement, and now a little bit of a different style. I think there are times when it's, challenging, and the offense is probably more challenging than the defense for them to pick up. But I'm excited by their attitude and their thirst for the knowledge of a new way of playing, even though they've had some success playing a different way.
But the simple fact that you're a member of the ACC, you're suddenly going from your team's going to be the hunted, and
Yeah.
you're used to playing the other role.
In some games, yes, but go ahead.
In most games.
Yeah.
How's that going to be?
I don't know. I think that's more dealing with the players than it is the coaches. I think as coaches, we certainly have a better understanding, having been on that side of it. I know how good all those players at that level are. There's not that much of a difference. And I think college basketball bears that out every spring. March Madness, Butler, for goodness sakes, just was a point away from winning the national championship. Maybe it's not even a point. It might have been an inch on a shot. So I don't think the difference is as big maybe as it is in football, where the physicality of the game, you can just run somebody over because you're just so much bigger and stronger. Basketball isn't a game that the size always dictates, the win. And so I think, the bigger thing for me is to try to make sure our players understand that. And but it's a little bit of a difference.
How's the transition been for some of the more veteran guys like DeMontez and Jure that were sort of ingrained in the old system, trying to get them to what you're doing, maybe almost like a deep programming process?
No, it's not that. It's not that much, and I think you'd have to be better to get that answer from them. But in my interpretation of how they view everything is I think they've been good. I think, they're enjoying learning some new things, and I think they're enjoying playing a little bit of a different way. We're still pretty aggressive defensively, so that's not a huge change. We're just not zone pressing all the time and maybe trying to steal the ball in the first, 7 or 8 seconds. So it's still an aggressive man defense and probably might even be a little more aggressive at times in the half court. I think they've enjoyed that. Then offensively, I think they've enjoyed having a little more freedom to maybe have an opportunity to do different things, to go in different parts of the court and read and react to some different situations. But it's still, as I said earlier, it's still hard for them because it's still a different offense, and it's not one that comes easy. But I think they've enjoyed it, and I think that they also enjoy being seniors and being looked to for answers and responsibility, and hopefully they'll respond to that.
I was going to kind of ask you where you were going with that, how DeMontez is doing with that, well, was kind of being the guy, but you kind of mentioned that you would be back at the golf outing, kind of in place of what Booker was last year. I don't, nobody's going to do what Trevor did. We don't have a player that's going to impact a game like Trevor Booker did. But in terms of, leading our team, in terms of being competitive spirit, in terms of, taking ownership in things that are going on the court, I think DeMontez will do well with that. And I think Jure will do fine with that as well. Those guys have both earned the right to be leaders in this program, and certainly I think they've done everything we've asked them in practice to date to merit that position.
Yes, Bobo had a double-double the other day at the exhibition. How do you feel about his progress in your system so far?
He's doing well. I don't know that he's ready to do a double-double every night, but he's I've been impressed with Bobo, from early on, from the standpoint of his willingness to learn and to work, and by putting on some added weight and being aggressive that way, I think that's helped him. I think, we've also done a good job of coaching his confidence a little bit. I think he's a kid that you need spend some extra time with. He and Milt are both kind of guys that you got to talk to him a lot. You got to show him film. You got to reinforce things. You got to coach him in a lot of different ways. And Bobo's done well, and he's excited about the year. He's excited about having an opportunity, I think. And so far, he's done well in a scrimmage and in an exhibition.
Hilton talked about how you guys will even send him a lot of positive reinforcement text messages, things of that nature. Have you seen that confidence grow?
Yeah, it's still very early now, very early stages, but I think they feel better about themselves as players, and that's critical. If you don't feel good about yourself as a player, you're not going to be successful. And this year for us, we're going to need everybody. We only have 10 guys on scholarship, and I'm hoping that one of the benefits of that is everybody feels part of every win and loss. One of the biggest things that we're trying to establish here is a true feeling of team and a togetherness and an attitude that people really respect our program, what we're trying to do, and that the kids do it first, and that they all feel a part of wins and losses. And I'm hoping that by everybody being involved and lots of guys playing in every game, that they all feel that way. And I don't think that's always the case in Division I sports. And you just don't want your seniors or a couple of leaders on the team to feel bad. You need everybody to feel bad when you lose. And you want everybody to feel part of a win and feel excited for that. And I think that's a big part of success in sports. And so hopefully our guys will do that.
Noel was 6 of 14 the other day. Kind of had a shooter's mentality. Is that what you want to see more of him do? Is go up?
You know what? I didn't go in and talk to Noel about, hey, we want to get you 14 shots or this or that. I think some guys have it, some guys don't. Some guys are always looking for their shot. They've always been a scorer. They've got a mentality to score, and I think that's different. I think there are some other guys, I don't think Jeray Grant is wired that way. And as much as everybody wants Jeray to become this great scorer and all those I don't know that he's wired that way to do that. I don't think he feels like that's what he has to do all the time or looks to do, because he passes shots up. He plays the game in another way. But for Noel's an aggressive scorer. He wants to shoot shots. That's one of the things he does. And so we're certainly going to try to do things for him to get the ball in his hands and make plays and shoot the ball. And I think his wires are geared towards that. So he's always going to be a guy that takes a lot of shots, probably for the amount of minutes he plays.
How do you feel Corey's done to this point, and what's his role going to be moving forward?
He's done fine. We're pleased. He's got a long, long way to go as a player. But he's come in physically and he's competed hard, and he's done a good job of putting on weight and gaining strength and being, physically ready to play for, not long periods of time, but he can go short stints of quality minutes. He can make a shot. He's just got a long way to go in the whole mental part of basketball. He just, it's a huge jump, especially at guard for most kids. And like most guards, he's got a long way to go in terms of understanding how we try to play, and then defensively all the, besides guarding his man and the ball and defending everything that's in front of him, all the rotations and things he's got to do to help other people. But I'm really pleased with his attitude, his work ethic, and I think he's done some good things, and he played very well in our exhibition.
You said the starting lineup wasn't set yet. Is that a matter of people still sort of competing for jobs, or is that?
Yeah, and I'm not a huge guy. Every media guys make a big deal out of who starts, and probably some parents make a big deal out of who starts. And there's a few players that get into all that, but who's finishing games is much more important. If you ask me, do I want to start? Yeah, I want to hear my name called and go slap 5 and get the light on me for a little while. But at the end, I'd rather, if you could pick starting or finishing, I want to be in there in the last 4 minutes. And but we'll probably because of experience, have, I would imagine Andre and DeMontez will start most, if not every